Hi guys, it's me, just Lucian again. And for this video that I will be dedicated to the month of love in February 2026, I shall be covering my favorite James Bond film called Goldfinger. Yeah, the man with the Midas touch. And yes, that is my favorite theme song of all time for the Bond movies. Because, well, I have a very good soft spot for it. Because, you see, back in the 90s, they had the show Reboot, which was pretty damn awesome. But then they also had one episode in which they parodied that song, the Goldfinger theme song, and it was perfect for that. It was called The Firewall. So, bravo to them for thinking of doing that. That was a brilliant move. And it was equally brilliant that they put the different characters like Dot Matrix and Enzo in the role of the people that were in the theme song and the theme role. So that was actually really something nice. Anyway, I believe that this movie is the second one to come out, but in the James Bond franchise, followed by Thunderbolt. I know this because in the end credits they show somebody with the Midas touch, like with a hand, and then they do that Goldfinger is not coming back, but James Bond is come back in Thunderbolt. That was actually something nice. So, spoiler alert, we know that James Bond 007 survived and he's gonna go on to get more tales. Which, by the way, in this movie, if you haven't seen it already, it's on Netflix, so I recommend you watch it. I want to ask you guys this. Who do you think gets more, action, if you will? James Bond or James T. Kirk? Two people that are named James, very oddly enough. It must be like some kind of aphrodisiac for ladies. Maybe I'll ask James drop that question. Anyway, that's that. So now, I probably should mention to you that this movie also features my favorite James Bond actor in the whole world. Of all the roster of them, there was Roger Moore, there was Pierce Brosnan, but none are as good as the late great Sean Connery. Now, unfortunately, with this movie, there is a little bit of controversy with it, because besides being a lesbian or lesbian, James Bond is very set in the 50s and 60s way of dealing with women. For example, there's this one part where he's talking to a woman that he's obviously gonna sleep with, get that part for the course for the character, and as he's talking to her, he slaps the girl on the butt. So nowadays that reads is a big no-no. Not only that, but there's a certain femme fatale character that's introduced in the latter half of the movie that's got a very interesting name. I'll get to that later on. But for right now, we're going to talk about it's J- James Bond has to infiltrate somebody, get some information on our Goldfinger. Let me just say that he likes Gold a lot. It's the joke about number 45 and 47 right here. But besides that, I find that our Goldfinger is actually more of a model for Donald Trump than you can ever imagine, because he got the same build, same features, same interest in gold, and the same desire to ruin the world economy. Not only that, but he also cheats at golf. So, yeah. I would say that this version of Goldfinger is the exact influence for Donald Trump than anything else in the world. And he has to act around, he has to fix some character. It's kind of funny, actually, when you think about it. And Goldfinger is played by and I'm gonna butcher the names of these people in this video, but Gert Forb or Fort. Anyway, he does a splendid job of doing this. In fact, this is the movie, and this is by the same actor that had the line. I don't want you to talk, Mr. Bond. I want you to die by a laser. And yeah, it's pretty fun. Most of the time, most of the technology that's in the cars in this movie, as well as the laser beam and all the other type gadgets stuff like Bond and the villains, in most of the Bond movies, all the early Bond movies, are nowadays it's like very common technology, except for the ejector seat in the car. Okay, that's that's something new that I never heard of for a vehicle, a street car. But anyway, I'm thinking, what was I here? But yeah, it's much like Star Trek with the tricorder and another type of gadget ingredients and stuff from the main heroes that nowadays, it was inspired by TV shows and movies like that. They're above. Nowadays we have that kind of stuff every day. We get Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, YouTube, and a whole host of other detriment to society as a whole on there. Plus, we can make phone calls only, etc., etc., etc. So, another thing that you'll notice about these movies is that being that this made in 1964, the movie, I don't know about the book, but the movie was made in 64. The combat in there is kind of like, how should I put this? Compared to the fifth combat in the movie, back then it's like love taps. It's like, oh, ow, 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 oh, do a chop, and all of that stuff. So it's very loose, very light, very I'm gonna leave it that they're loose and light, and it really does show. no, Bond fights with this guy after he infiltrates the main layer, and he's about to seduce one of the belly dancers in the movie, and he kills the guy, but with a toaster with like a lamp in his bathtub while he's in it. Very similar to how he handles Oddjob, which is another legendary character in this movie, played by Harold Sakata. He's very his basic MO is that he throws his hat, and his hat has like a solid steel brim in it that slices off people's heads and mobile such and whatnot. So he's pretty fun because he always like to grin like a maniac and stuff like that. Although there is one little thing that I don't like about his fighting with Bond at the end, and that when Bond is about to face him head on, they show him picking up a gold brick and chucking at the guy Oddjob, and it bounces off him like it was a water balloon. Now, I don't care how strong you are, a gold brick weighs about 30 pounds at least. So to pick up like it was nothing, especially with Sean Connery being so not as much in shape as it should be for this role. I can't see literally throwing that thing like a javelin at this guy, and then bouncing off like a guy and not having it doing the odd job. To me, that's kind of stupid, to say the least, because that the thing has mass, and I don't care how strong you are. If you get hit in the collarbone area with that, you're gonna either fall down or you're gonna be knocked back a little bit. But not have nothing happen to you. So anyway, that's one little problem I have with the combat in this movie. Like when Goldfinger does his Grand Slam, which he tried to destroy the U.S.'s gold depository by irradiating it with a dirty bomb from China. He tried to knock out the people on the base and whatnot with nerve gas, invisible nerve gas. But the thing of it is that when you do that, they have like the people on the ground, they get knocked out from the air with nerve gas. But the funny is that when they do that, they how do you put this they fall to the ground too quickly. In other words, it looks more like one of them staged die-ins that they were doing back in the 60s and possibly 70s and 50s, like to protest the war and such. So they fall down too early on when the plane comes down. Like, here's the plane, and then as it falls down, as it angles downward, then they fall down. Whereas when they swoop up, that's the proper time to fall down, as the effective gas would get to them on the ground. It's very kind of funny. It's like what you would expect in a movie. The one with Bill Murray in it. Stripes. Yeah, Stripes. Or say, like a Full Metal Jacket, for example. In any case, they have another fun thing I find interesting is that when James Bond is infiltrating this club with the bow dancer in the first kill of the movie at night, he dons like a black scuba suit, which is fine for stealth runs and that kind of thing, looking into stuff. But the thing is that when he does so, he wears a bright blue air tube that runs through his mouth. Now, I'm not an expert on stealth or anything, but I would imagine that a big blue air hose would kind of give you away in the middle of the night. Just saying that, just putting that out there. So don't do that if you go on a stealth mission to kill somebody or get information. So then you have the famous theme song Goldfinger, a man with the Midas touch by Shirley Bassey, who've done many other theme songs for the early Bond films. But I find it interesting that they like to play like the theme song for it, but in instrumental form for the rest of the movie in parts. And whenever they do that, I find it very interesting that the sound they do for Goldfinger sounds very similar to what you would expect from them. They did the same thing to Moon River. And if you listen to it, Moon River, Goldfinger, sounds kind of the same. At least in instrumental form. So, and then you find, and we go over to, meet Goldfinger, where you're playing Jimmy with somebody, but he cheats. And he's cheating with, by the use of a girl played by Shirley Easton, and, you with a blonde, that all of his women are usually blondes. Again, appealing to the whole golden nature of him, his modus operandi of being obsessed with gold. This is all fine good for the women. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But then I was thinking to myself, why are all the other workers and pig gum and butt Goldfinger played by Asian people? What do the Asians got to do with gold besides their uniforms? But then I got thinking about it. And I'm going to try to answer it, but I'm sure you're not going to like it as much as I don't like it. If you look at the wheel of racist colors, the colorful racist wheel, you know that Asian people are usually depicted as yellow people. And that's where the golden features come in. The golden people. I know it doesn't make much sense because, number one, they're not eating yellow in the movie. And second of all, me personally, I never considered any Asian friend that I had to be yellow whatsoever. I don't know where that came from, and I don't like it either. I hate that idea that it doesn't call Asian people of whatever nationality, ethnicity, or whatever yellow. I don't like that. Probably because you'll also have to deal with cowardice. And none of the Asian people that I know of can be considered cowards. But anyway, for helping kids bond out with unrigging its little card game and make him lose thousands or whatever amount of money he had lost. Bond Goldfinger punishes the girl by giving him the same coat of paint as C3PO in the Dot Matrix and the spoof movie Space Vocals. I don't know if that was a direct extension to the reboot cartoon, but that was weird that one of the main characters was named Dot Matrix and then this movie and blah blah blah, like I just said. What? So yeah, so they find out that he killed her by painting her gold and I guess suffocating her skin with that paint job. Now, I think I heard some mythbusters that painting the entire body gold will not kill you. I think that's what it was. I'm glad though that they didn't apply this golden theme to other stuff, like let's say golden shower. For example, that would have been really hard to explain to kids. Hey daddy, it's a golden shower. Well, ask your mother. She probably know what it is. So, anyway, besides the whole thing about the golden Asian people and stuff like that, I never really liked gold personally. Like, as an endorsement for every level thing. So I'm with a gold chain, but what Clayton brother doesn't have a gold chain somewhere on this person. And I've always liked silver or chrome or even platinum if I can afford it. So I'm not really into the whole gold thing altogether. It's gaudy, it's coarse and rough and gets rare. So I don't really like it that much. Except in something to throw where every card I have is adorned with like gold trimmings with a proper paint job to go with the central theme of the same color scheme. But in any case, they have now being that this movie within the 6 years, 63 or 2 or 3 years, like that, it comes complete with green screen driving teams, as well as toy models for the planes. But they actually showed them actually letting the plane, like they show them like post letting you coming down, like, and then just tacking under their own runway and stuff. No Top Gun type incidents. The nature of that is a testament after Goldfinger, and that he eventually catches up with them and kill them. And then they also show his big master plan by him going with a bunch of people in his little Switzerland getaway. And I really like this whole setup with the windows that close those like everybody in, including some very important a few people and I think they include some triads too, maybe some yakuza in it too. And when he's preparing to play, he's really nervous about this because he knows that the people that will easily kill him if they get too antsy. So he really does have some good acting chops. The guy for it has some good acting chops when he has to act nervous. Which was like a lot. So anyway, I also like the fact that they have this thing coming out from the ground for not like a little ball of it, and I'll bet anything that Trump has that in the office somewhere, a little model of something or other that rises above the floor like that building does. Maybe his new model for of Trump or whatever he's going to be doing to the Kennedy Center or whatever else he got in his twisted mind to put together. So they also have a job actually killed one of the mobster guys in the back of his car. And this is a little problem I have with the combat situation because I just pulls a gun out of his pocket in the front of the car, and the guy's sitting in the back of the car. He doesn't even move when he's shot it. And you would think he'd try to dodge or get out of the car or something, but no, he just takes it like a man, right in the face or the chest, and then just destroyed the car. Crushed it. And in that moment, I see that the car is based on the car from Inspector Gadget, but let's see, the car from the Matrix movie, the first Matrix movie. I forgot the name of the car, but it was like that with the suicide doors. So in case they haven't killed one of his future partners. Also, I like when they have the muckle scene in there when James is looking underneath it at the vignette of just escaping from prison, being put there with an empty card. He breaks out of the prison and he goes underneath the mall and is writing down the information on Operation Grand Slam. And he's looking at the from the but beneath it in the window of the little model of Fort Knox. And it's so funny because nobody can see it, first of all. And second of all, I like the way that you have this big grand scheme thing on top going on. The whole thing that rises out of the floor and stuff. But then underneath you can see all the hydraulics, all the machinery, all this and that and the other thing. And then Bond is knocked out by one of the most famous Bond girls in the entire world of James Bond. And now, besides the fact that I think that Mr. Ian Fleming, the guy who made James Bond, was a little bit on the racist side for the whole, Asian thing going on there. I think that he was a little bit on the sex side as well when it comes to the name of the Snake character. Pussy Galore. And she's so named because I'm sure she has a lot of cats. And yes, I know where it's supposed to be, but it's more funny with the cat reference. And more friendly with the cat reference. But yeah, I do, at times, I do refer my big fat cat as Pizzicolor. And it's really funny. And what's even more funny is that in the movie, to deliver this nerve agent that paralyzes people for 24 hours straight, they go Goldfinger also hired Pizzicolor's flying circus to deliver this agent over the air or over Fort Knox. So that's really funny. How many times can he actually say the words Pizzicolor in the context of this movie? So you got Piccolor, you got Aja, you got Goldfinger, you got James Bond. This is turning out to be the best movie full of all the James Bond references that I know of, including the fact that this movie began the whole thing of the legendary Aston Martin DB5 car, which is automotive royalty in my opinion. This car is excellent. In fact, you can't think of James Bond without this car. They go hand in hand, like Love and Marriage, or Frederick Flintstone, or Trumpet Epstein. And even when the DB5 car got, ran its course and it was retired, James Bond has always been associated with the car brand Aston Martin. So, I don't know if they had that Dr. No, but this movie definitely solidified that bond with Aston Martin kind of thing, class and all that. And I think that I think it was recently a Barrett Jackson auction in which the actual movie car was sold to somebody for I don't know how much money it was, but that's pretty cool. I know that he uses some of the gadgets in this movie, and I know that one of the women who uses the smoke screen gets her jollies off when she does that and pushes the button for the smoke screen. But I just don't like the fact that there's two separate switches for each different sides of the machine guns on the right and left side of the car itself. I would think that'd be a little complicated, especially when you're driving. Why not just have one button for both of them at once? Because more likely you're probably going to be shooting a target directly ahead of you with both guns at once, not one at a time. And then that kind of thing would make more sense, like a gun in which you shoot two at once, one side, and that kind of thing, or like Halo or something like that, there and above. So then we see Miss Galore get the contents over it, and she switches out the cartridges for from the nerve gas to something else, maybe water vapor or something like that. That could explain why all the people fake their unconsciousness so poorly in order to catch this guy. But they put a dirty bomb in the air, and they handcuff a Bond to it. And Oddjob is up here on like the floor, and Bond is down here with the bomb. So when he comes to after a guard is downstairs to get it and stuff, dead and everything, you see Oddjob rushing down to get to Bond before he can uncuff himself. It's so funny because rather than jumping down to get the Bond, you see Oddjob take a sweet ass time with going on each staircase level until it sends the bomb. At which point Bond is already uncuffed himself with the guard key. So that's really funny. Terribly funny. And what's even more funny is that when Bond got out of the twin cell the first time, you see them all with like 3 different guards, each watching each other's backs to make sure that Bond doesn't get out, even though the door's wide open. I would think it'd be a lot easier to put him in a new cell, get another reinforced door there, with multiple guards over there, and cameras watching every move. Because in the first time he did it, he tricked the NF guard by hugging the ceiling, and when the guard went in, he knocked him out. And I drew a kick. So then you see Oddjob fighting with this guy with Bond. I think that Mr. Sakala was a Japanese bodybuilder, not a simple wrestler, but a bodybuilder, because he really is a big guy. Yeah, big, tall, strong guy. He's strong enough to handle a gold bar shaped chest. So he's over there always grinning like a mad idiot, chucking his rimmed hat at Bond. He does give Bond a good run for his money, you know. I believe that the ending didn't happen, that Oddjob would kill him. And you know what? Now I'm gonna bring up the fact that Oddjob is a key character in Goldeneye, because I never played that game myself. Anyway, they have Oddjob cutting a bunch of wires with a stupid hat by him missing and getting the hat on the guy, so that when the wire comes out, it comes out like a live wire full of electrical impulses. And then when Oddjob tries to get the hat back, he struggles a little bit and tries to get Bond. Bond dodges out of the way. He throws it into the bars of the cage for the gold, and by which I just could retrieve it, make one more shot at Bond. But when Oddjob does it, Bond jams the live wire into the steel bars, thereby shocking the cat and shocking Oddjob, who's reaching for it. So he kills him. He makes a shocking quip too. That was shocking. The same way they killed the guy in the first part of the movie. And it was actually really funny. For our job. I like him a lot. Rest in peace. But yeah, I wonder how the actor would be remembered if he's like me remembered for being playing Odd Job. The one guy who almost killed Bob, almost got him. Likewise, I wonder how Miss Lord's actress Anna Blackwell would like to be remembered as being Miss Pussy Galore. That would be funny. Hey, mommy, would you play in the movie? Oh, I played Womanita. Kitty Galore. Yeah, I'm sure she probably loves up the part of that name. So then also I find that the fact that they were able to bypass all the defenses in Fort Knox be quite they bypassed it so easily. I find it kind of disturbing a little bit. But which is the movie, I'm sure that Fort Knox has a lot more layers of security that Mr. Fleming didn't know about. And probably for the best too. Because I don't think they would give secrets like that to just anybody, especially a writer. I'm sure I'm sure you can only speculate from when you saw TV or the newspapers or whatever, like Tom Clancy. So anyway, they have Mr. Goldfinger escaping with a gun that's covered in gold, of course. Much now that's to be differentiated from the man with the golden gun. That's a whole different movie, a whole different actor, played by Christopher Lee. Also legendary performance, by the way, at least. But he escapes by donning an army uniform and then escaping. And it's very nice that he ends up ambushing Mr. Bond on Miss Galore's plane, private plane and such. And it showed him wrestling with Bond and the gun that eventually shoots out the window. And then Mr. Goldfinger ends up dying in the same way that the alien hybrid died in Alien Resurrection. So that was actually pretty funny. Not as graphic thing in this. And you know what? I find that the fight with Odd Job was a lot more memorable than this guy, because the movie with him had the Goldfinger, obviously, but yeah, he's played second fiddle to Odd Job. I feel because Odd Job almost beat Bond, and then you had the part where Bond had to defuse the bomb, the dirty bomb from China to irradiate the U.S.'s gold reserves, and therefore make our gold bonds and whatever worth more money. But he did it with 7 seconds to spare after yanking the wires out of a bomb. And it turned out that the destination of dirty bomb means a bomb with chemical or biological agents in it that would affect the surroundings. So radiation or chemical poisoning on any given surface or whatever. And it would be the goal there for 57 years. Well, Goldfinger thing went up considerably. But anyway, they have the big fight in the sky. Then this glorious plane goes down because depressurization. And of course, Bond makes a joke at death. But it's quite funny that nothing else gets took out of the plane after Arg falls down and go boom. And no other bodies, no other furniture or anything. The hole's still there. So Percy and James have to land the plane like the Top Gun, and they do it, and then end up parachuting onto a desert island. And just before her Royal Majesty Navy goes to get him, James Bond actually does rep a little bit of lore. And that would cut to the end credits. We reveal that Thunderbolt next movie one. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this movie quite a bit. Especially with the jokes I can make it at Mr. Trump. Or Goldfinger. By the way, I know that Arg is a planet, Eric, but they made it look it's gold because Arg is gold is the symbol for gold is like a U. I don't know what the actual word is, but I know that a U might be Orium or something like that. Something similar to that. But yeah. I do wonder if one actually named Auric in the world. And they do some very gorgeous scenery of Switzerland, Germany, and the United States in it too. So that's a good plus for the movie. Besides all the models and the toy planes and the green screen driving that is in the movie, you'll get to wear and probably can even pick it out. And probably I didn't know that they drove like that. I thought they were really driving it. But I can't think tell the difference between that and real driving, because if you're driving, it's like the turns of the steering wheel don't actually match up with the turns in the as they predict on the back of the car. But anyway, there's a reason why I love Goldfinger, and why I think that my favorite James Bond movie 007, because it stars Sean Connery, enough said. But besides that, he actually reminds me a little bit of my Uncle Benny. About the slumness, masculinity, and charm with the women. And yes, my uncle does have cats. So, yeah. So, I thank you for watching my review of Goldfinger, the man with the Midas touch. His belly, real my ass would actually be a terrible cat. His powers. Couldn't eat anything, couldn't drink anything, and all your possessions and people that you loved were turned to gold. Historical census and CTPO and other things too. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I did it for my month of love in February of 2026. I highly recommend you to watch this movie on Netflix. Well, it's still on there. They have a whole slew of James Bond movies with Daniel Craig in it, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, Sean Connery, and others too. And they're all good in their own way. So, I give this definite happy face and seal of approval. It's very fine. The dagger is great too, although I think it's overshadowed by Odd Job a little bit. And I like the pun scene. I like the fact that Bond actually told the bad guy a few times that Dad to fire a weapon inside of a flying airplane. Because of the preservation. And I love the fact that they have legendary characters like Pussy Galore, like Goldfinger, Odd Job, the lines of I don't expect you to talk, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. Very, very well done. Also, I should note that with Miss Galore, the thing with the cats, you can with that. But in one of the Austin Powers movies, which is a parody of Bond, they have a character that's called a lot of vagina. I wonder what that could be in reference to. Definitely not cats. But yeah, that was fun. The movie was great. It's great. It holds up today. But I do believe that if I want a remake of a movie, I think this would be it. If they were to go that route, they would have to do it right. But I could see them doing it properly, doing it justice. And no, I'm not going to be reading the book. The only James Bond book I have is the Thunderbolt. So yeah, I also find out Sean Connery to be a very good actor. And I enjoy his performance as James Bond. Anyway, if you like what you hear and want to see more of my videos, don't like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also get me on my, you can also comment or text me for any information on my future videos at 631-707-3707. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer it at P Nelson Pro. Also, my email is at jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, all you Bonds out there, all you Bond fanboys out there, I'm definitely my home. I love James Bond. I love the Goldfinger regional enemy make. And also you got the famous line in this one, shit, I prefer my walking to be shaken, not stirred. Now what's your favorite quotation by James Bond? It doesn't have to be in this movie, it can be any movie. And it's also cute and Money Penny too, and the special organization. I know that these movies are not like a sequential, like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, whatever. They never refer to each other, I don't think at least. You know, the consistent arc character of James Bond, Moneypenny, Q, and the organization of Spectre. Everything else, like Goldfinger, will not be mentioned in the next movie. The next movie won't be referred to in the movie after that, and so on and so forth. I think that they actually mentioned Techno, but just in passing. So yeah, I salute anyone that likes Spy Thrillers or anything else for that matter, related to James Bond. This movie is one of many good movies in the franchise. And well, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in internet land. Sayonara, ciao ciao, and being said, au revoir.